I absolutely love my new companion. He is my absolute favorite. Isn't he cute? Hello there my YouTube friends and fans, welcome back to No Man's Sky. I am very close to having 100 million units, and while I was telling you in other videos that I'm not really in this game to just make money all the time, that's not my main goal. I have wanted to kind of set this as a fun goal for me, not that I need the money, but just kind of to see if I can actually get to 100 million units. Literally just as a fun challenge to myself. And I am almost there, and as you can see I have a new exocraft vehicle which I recently acquired. I tested it out on one of my home bases to kind of just get familiar with it. There is some disadvantages to it, which is one of the ones that bug me the most is it's super slow. You can speed it up once in a while, but in general it is rather slow compared to the smaller exocraft vehicle, which you can literally like race around in every planet and get really quickly from point A to point B. The good thing about this big one though is it's got more storage space and it's got an amazing mining ability. You can literally mine everything within like a fraction of the time that you can do with the smaller vehicle or even with your multi-tool. So as you can see here, look at that, this big thing here just gone within like less than a second. And so you don't even have to leave your vehicle. With the smaller exocraft I always have to get out to mine bigger things, get back in. So with this one you can literally just be super lazy, stay in your vehicle, keep mining stuff, and just don't even worry about getting hurt or anything. And on my adventures I finally stumbled across this abandoned building which happens to have a sales terminal inside. You can see straight ahead. But I'm also going to also check out this multi-tool box here, and it turns out this is not better than the one I have. I found an A multi-tool like at the very beginning of the game, and I have not found a better one yet. So I'm sticking to it. And since I was super close to 100 million, I just had to go outside and collect some lava core to meet my goal. Yay, I did it! 100 million! Oh my god, this feels so amazing. I wasn't sure if that's going to be possible in such a short amount of time, but look at that, there it is. So now I just have to find out what to do with all this money. I don't know. So with that goal completed, I'm kind of ready to leave that planet and visit a neighborly planet here. And I find this one. Look at this. Salvageable scrap, cactus flesh, emerald, pirate, and sodium. That sounds absolutely amazing, but it really got me at salvageable scrap. So let's dive in, shall we? So the first thing I see when I land is this ancient ruin, which I actually found through a long distance scan from the other planet. And I'm actually really glad it's not one of those ruins that you have to dig out in order to find all those treasures that are there. And yes, this one doesn't have treasures, but it's still interesting. And I do my first landing on this planet that's called Visesic. I don't even know, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wow. And you know how your mom always tells you not to touch anything in a museum? I agree, but I just couldn't help it. I just really had to do this. And I don't know if I get in trouble for doing this or not, but it just kind of called for it, right? So I'm kind of ready to play a game of soccer right now at this thing, but I kind of need a partner and I do not really have one. Maybe I should call one of my companions. Do you think they would help me kick this ball around? Yeah, I don't know. So let's do what we came here for, which is loot as many salvageable containers as we can and hope we find some valuable stuff in there. So here is the first. So I just have to get rid of those protective casings in order to get to the good stuff, and the sentinels are already arriving, and I was kind of expecting that, and that's kind of why I'm down here, to kind of keep them at bay. And look at that, we found something super rare, not a bad start at all. Moving on to the next one to see what we can find here. And I've learned that the smaller the containers are, the less you actually get. That may just be a coincidence, but that's kind of what I found out. So let's see if that's true. And as you can see, you don't get a rare item here. This is still some value though. And not even a really hazardous storm keeps me from looting those containers. Also, I can be a little bit underground, which protects me from the storm while I'm doing the mining here. So I'm far enough down that I can do this, and this looks like a really big one. So if my predictions are right, we're gonna find another super rare item here. And the sentinels are coming, so yes, this looks like it's an important thing. Let's check it out. Yep, we found a really rare item that's probably valued at least 2 million. Yay! And as I keep driving around looking for salvageable containers, I actually find a lot of other really good, valuable, awesome things. Like I just run into this drop pod by accident. I had no idea it was there. I didn't even do a scanning. It just happened to be here. Literally not far from where I just landed. So, yay. And I realized that I have almost soon maxed out my exosuit slots here. I don't need many more to have them all. So, I go to the next salvage container here, which unfortunately turns out to not be a rare item. But I go into my vehicle, drive over the hill, and what do I find? Ta-da! Another drop pod, which I did not know was there. It just said unknown building, and it happens to be a drop pod. Yay, I feel like I'm so lucky. But it turns out this was actually just the second one out of 4 which I find within this area within a very short time. But I also happen to find things like this freighter that was totally unexpected because it did not come up in my scan. So of course I have to go and loot all the storage containers that are hidden below the ground. And so then after that, I continued my salvage container looting, and I found a ton of rare things valued between 1 and 2.3 million, as you can see here. But this planet just keeps surprising me over and over. I just keep driving around finding things like those flowing crystals, which give you the glowing mineral, which you then can break apart into platinum and silver and gold. And just around the corner, I happen to find a distress beacon, and I'm super excited when I see that it's actually a ship. It's gonna be a new ship that I can acquire. And if it's not better than the one I have, I can just scrap it and make good money out of that and get materials. Then I go ahead and check out this distress beacon, and it lets me enter the cockpit or attempt to take the multi-tool. So I've never done this before, and look what we find, a super rare multi-tool A-class, amazing. But when I do this, I'm like, it doesn't have as many slots as my multi-tool, so I don't think I can do this, because I don't want to have one that's valued less than mine. But even though it kind of looks a little bit like a kid's toy, it's looks like it's a rare multi-tool, so I kind of don't want to pass it up. So I'm going to go into compare. And I realize, yeah, it definitely doesn't have enough room. But then I see that I can actually take this multi-tool for free. I don't have to exchange it. So what happens if you take another multi-tool? Can you have two multi-tools? That's what I didn't know. I did that and I was immediately regretting it, because I'm like, oh, where is my other multi-tool now? But I'm sure that I did not exchange it, so I'm like, there has to be a way to switch back to your other multi-tool. It's gotta have to be somewhere. So I just dig around in the settings here and I'm like, nah, that's not it. This is just kind of how I can summon my vehicles. What do we have over here? Aha, change secondary weapon. I never made use of this. Swap multi-tool. Here we go. So let's check this out. Yeah, look at that. Here I can swap. So I have my old multi-tool back, my awesome multi-tool. But then I'm thinking I have both now, so I could actually use this new one for a little bit, just for fun. Who knows? Maybe it turns out to be better or just as good, and maybe I don't need all those slots, but I definitely have to fix some of the stuff up there when I get the materials. So I do what I can from where I have the materials, and the rest I just gonna have to do later. And I got so excited about this new multi-tool that I completely forgot that I also have another new ship now that I have to decide what to do with it. So let's go and take a look to see how good it is. And it's unfortunately only a C class, which is what I kind of expected. But I do want to have it because I can definitely use the scrap of it. So all I have to do is fix up the necessary stuff so it can actually be flown. But then, of course, I want to take my awesome new multi-tool on a test drive. And by the way, this multi-tool heavily reminds me of Halo, doesn't it? It's so funny. I never expected to find a multi-tool like that in this game. But, you know, as much as I'm into realism, this is still kind of like fun to have a little silliness in this game. And I am working on a new container here, which makes me believe I'm gonna find something super rare. And yes, I already know that those yellow ones are usually at least 2 million. So let's go check real quick. And yes, we're over 2 million. The most valuable one was 2.3, but this is right in second place. Not bad at all. So I actually was on this planet quite some time because I found so much more stuff than I expected. And this is the lost sales terminal here that I'm like selling some of the lost stuff here. And as you can see, when you paid attention, I had roughly 100 million when I started, when I got to this planet, and here I have 117 million. So I literally made 17 million on this planet alone in just a few gameplay hours. And funny is that I didn't even come to this planet to make money. I had my 100 million, that was my goal, I was happy with it. I actually came to this planet to just kind of check it out and find rare things. And I actually happened to find a rare new multi-tool, and that's definitely the highlight of this planet, of this adventure. And because this planet is so amazing, I wanted to rename it, so I find it again, and I renamed this planet to simply Goldmine. So if you happen to find a planet that's called Goldmine, I highly recommend you land on it. You will thank me later. So enough of this video now. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, leave some comments if you want, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.